Hi all, welcome and welcome back to my channel. In this video, I want to share some news with you that I'm very excited about. Today, January 19th of 2021, a Colorado judge found Letecia Stauch, the stepmother of 11-year-old Gannon Stauch, competent to stand trial. Yes, she is. If you are unclear as to whom Letecia Stauch is, she is suspected of being involved in the disappearance and death of her stepson, Gannon Stauch. Precious Gannon was reported missing by Letecia on January 27th of 2020 while he was in her care, and his body was recovered in Florida nearly 2 months later. She was arrested shortly after, but the progress of the case was delayed due to her attorneys questioning whether or not she was competent to aid in her own defense. State psychiatrists previously determined that Letecia was competent to stand trial, and today she appeared via video from the El Paso County Jail for the judge's determination based on a second competency exam, where he determined that she is competent to stand trial. So, the prosecution is planning to move forth with her trial. Finally, I've been so waiting for this. The prosecutor on the case said the following after the judge's decision. I can tell you, speaking on behalf of the community and also family members, we want to get this case moving, and this gives us the ability to do that. We've been approaching a year since Gannon went missing, and we want to get this case moving. I like him already. So, since they're on track to move forward with proving her guilt, giving her a fair trial, the judge has scheduled her next court hearing, which will be a 2-day preliminary hearing for March 11th and 12th of 2021. I'll explain this more in a second. Before I forget, I want to let you know that Letecia's defense also raised the issue in court that T has requested a conflict hearing because apparently she's unhappy with the 2 public defenders she currently has. Maybe that's because they don't believe all her lies? Silly me. Of course not. I'm sorry. I don't know what's come over me while recording this video, but I seem to have forgotten that we're in the good old US of A, where she is most definitely considered innocent until proven guilty, but except that I already tried, convicted, and sentenced her in my own mind a while ago. So this whole court thing, it's just a formality at this point. I already sentenced her to life without the possibility of parole, so she's not going anywhere. But I guess she thinks she can if she gets different lawyers, which ironically, in my mind, makes her delusional, rendering her incompetent to aid in her own defense. But you didn't hear me say that. Now the DA did a telephone media interview after the judge passed down his decision to inform the public of the next steps that would be taken to move her trial forward. I will link his interview in my description box if you want to listen to it, but I will also cover some of it in my video because it had awful echoing and feedback, and it's difficult to understand for much of the call until they correct the problem. And just a heads up, the phone call doesn't start until 6 minutes and 35 seconds into the video. The DA says on the call that at the preliminary hearing, the prosecution will be presenting evidence about the investigation to establish probable cause, and for the proof evident presumption great portion of the hearing, which he says is a bond argument, they will be presenting evidence asking that Letecia continue to be held without bond going forward. He was asked why it was brought up in court that additional security was requested after Letecia's second mental evaluation was conducted, and he said it was a concern that came up during her second competency evaluation, but that he was going to leave it at that so it didn't cause any problems in court. He said they really want to get the case moving for the family members since it's already almost been a year since Gannon was reported missing. He said they want to be respectful to the family, to give them the time they will need to travel to Colorado to be present in court when they present the evidence. He said they won't be presenting all the evidence they have in the case, but it will be a really good outline of the case. He said they're definitely prepared to present this case to the court and eventually to a jury. When asked if he expected the case to go to court, he said yes. They've been preparing for it, and they've been working the case hard, he said. When asked if that meant he didn't anticipate any sort of a plea deal in the future, he responded, "We haven't engaged in any plea negotiations, and I don't anticipate doing that. I'll just leave it at that." So, looks like Letecia is going to trial. And by the sound of it, as soon as possible. Excellent news. No plea deal for T. Makes sense. I didn't offer her one either. The DA sounds like his office has their ducks in a row, and they're ready to make heads roll. I don't even think he's going to need my help on this one. But I'll make myself readily available, just in case he needs some pointers. 'Cause when I convicted her, my case against her was rock solid. No room for reasonable doubt. No doubt that she's guilty. No doubt she should be locked up until she takes her last breath. And no doubt that she deserves to rot in hell for what she did to precious Gannon. Rest in peace, sweet boy. You will always be my hero. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe out there, and I'll see you on my next video.